Hey guys, Joe here, and today I bring you the CRKT Homefront by Ken Onion. And if you haven't seen my my preview of this, I did the preview of this knife about, I don't know, maybe almost 2 weeks ago. I've had it, been carrying it every day since, maybe a little bit of other knives in between, but 95% of the time I've been carrying this, been going through the motions with it, been cutting with it, and now I'm just ready to give a full review on it. So, for those of you who didn't catch my video, you should go pause this and go check it out. But besides that, you can let's take a look at it again here. Now, excuse the sweat marks because it's a very hot 95+ degree day in New Jersey, so bear with me. So some stats that I didn't mention in the other video while I hold out the knife in my hand. It's an 8. Where am I? It's not an 8. It's a 3.5 inch length blade. The steel is AUS 8. We're going to get into a conversation about that in a little bit. The hardness rating on the blade is a 57 to 58. The steel is brushed steel. Aluminum scales. Of course, what brings this this knife to fame is the field strip technology. It's a liner lock. Flipper. You can tell by the look, it's even Ken Onion mentioned it, it's like dedicated to like a World War II look with a kind of a bayonet style flipper. The star, the colors. Now, I made a video that shows me taking this apart and putting it back together. I'm going to try to do it live, but if I mess up, I'm going to probably cut to that video. So let's try it live, but if not, you might see this video cut and go straight to my other video. But anyway, before I even get to that, when I first got the knife, I gotta admit, I had a little bit of problems putting it back together, but that's probably a little bit of my own spasness. You're supposed to release this right here until you hear the blade, until you hear the knife click, and then once it clicks, you're supposed to pull this back and then take it apart. Now, that's fine, I was taking it apart, but when I was putting it back together, I was not, I guess, not applying enough pressure, and it would only get halfway, and I was starting to get very frustrated. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, you've heard me preach that I'm not the most take a knife apart type of guy, so this comes to play for guys like me, because I'm the type that, once you take something apart, all of a sudden you got 3 extra screws. I'm just wiping it down from all the sweat. So let's see if we can do this live. If not, I'm going to cut to my video of doing it, because sometimes I still spaz out and I don't do it right. But I've been breaking in, I've been taking it apart a million times, and I pretty much get it dead on every time. So here we go. You're supposed to push away from here until you hear a click. You heard that? Alright, so now that you heard the click, you're supposed to push this back, and now easily take it apart. So while it's apart, let's take a look at the inside. Now I'm not sure on the washers. I don't know, I'm guessing either Teflon or Teflon washers. I don't know. Somebody can fill me in. I'm not sure. I tried to do my homework on it, but I'm not really sure what washers there are. Now while I got the blade loose too, let me show you that you see the cutting edge doesn't go all the way down. You can see right here, I'm trying to stay in focus, there is a part where there is no edge. My guess, I don't know for sure, is that it probably was put together because when it's together, because this flipper sticks out, this bayonet style flipper sticks out so far, it'd probably be difficult to get it to sharpen there. I don't know. Maybe there's another reason. That's just my guess. But there, as you can see, there is not a full edge. Here, it's just the other side of the aluminum scales with the washer. Alright, so now we're going to put it back together. I'll show you what I was doing wrong. Let's see, where are we here? I got to make sure that I'm doing this on camera. So, that's probably one of the toughest things when you're making videos. You're looking at what you're doing, but you're trying to do it through a viewfinder. If you take your eyes away, you might not be filming it at the time. Now, here's what I was doing wrong. I wasn't squeezing this enough because there's like a pin right here, you got to like make sure you squeeze it. Let's see, do I have it squeezed? And then push it all the way over, and there you go, back together. So let's now that we took care of the taking it apart and putting it back together, let's go through the motions. Now I can tell you without even doing this paper cut, but what the heck, I'll show you anyway. This knife definitely does not disappoint in the sharpness department. This knife is sharp all day long, and I've been using it and I haven't sharpened it, and look how sharp it is. But I did what I can tell you, when I cut it right out of the box, it was absolutely stunning. Let's measure it up. Let's do it against my dollar and my ruler. Now, for you guys who like short videos, this one might be a little long, so hopefully this won't be. There it is against the dollar. Whoops, excuse me, Mr. Camera. Let's try to do that again. There we go. There it is against the dollar. That's what happens when you have live video. There it is against the ruler. I'm going to put it against another knife. Let's keep it mostly CRKT. Here is a very big favorite of mine, the CRKT Amicus. There it is against that. If you haven't seen that my video on that one, I urge you to check it out. You'll see it down below in the descriptions, or up top. You can see that it'll come across right now. You can click on it. Now, what else? Oh, I promised a wing too. Now someone had asked me, Joe, can you also do the grams too? Because I'd like to know it in grams, so we're going to do both. Now, the official weight on the website says that it's 4.8 ounces, but what the heck? I got a new scale. Let's use it. There you go, 4.76 ounces. And I think I got to hit this a couple of times to get to grams. There you go, 135 grams. So the weight is perfect. Not too heavy, not too light. So let's talk about what the big thing that everybody seems to be talking about is the price and the steel. The price, I don't know where people are getting their numbers from, but most of your popular knife sites, I see it for $99 plus shipping. That's basically what I paid for it. I see people complaining, $120 knife? No way. Where are they getting this $120? I don't know. Maybe they're seeing it on CRKT's website. I don't know. So I've been saying in a lot of my other videos, I am not a steel snob, but I admit, like, sometimes there was a certain Spyderco, I believe it was the friction folder, where it was a VG10 steel, and it was $200. I just felt, that VG10 steel, friction folder, no locking system, and $200, the materials didn't match the price, So with this knife, you might say, well, yeah, I could get a better steel, and at that price. All right, so here's the one knife I want to use as a comparison. A knife that I've been preaching about since the day I reviewed it. This is the Cold Steel Code 1. There it is against the Code 1. Now, if you're up on your Cold Steel, you know that at one time the bulk of their knives were all AUS 8, which is exactly, I don't know if now that I think about it, I don't even think I mentioned the steel of this one, but this is an AUS 8 blade. And the old Cold Steels used to be AUS 8, but now since then they've upgraded their knives to a carpenter steel. You can get this knife, I remember back in the day, and I reviewed this some time ago, you can get this knife for around $75, and yet you're going to get this for $100. And somebody might say, well, Jesus, why would I pay $20 more for a lesser steel when I can turn around and have this? All right, that's a point. But what does the home front bring to the table? There's nothing wrong with this knife. This is a beautiful knife. I've been preaching about how great this knife is. Triad lock, beautiful blade, with great steel, easy to sharpen, very sharp. But there's certain things this doesn't have. Can you take this apart? Yeah, okay, I'm sure you can. I don't know how to take it apart. Will I ever take it apart? No, I'll never take it apart. Now, back in the day when I first started collecting, I could care less if a knife was even a flipper or not. But to tell you the truth, now I'm starting to like flippers, believe it or not. I do find myself, I used to like tease the guys and just sit there and just flip their knife all day long. I was like, dude, the knife is for cutting, not for flipping. But now I do enjoy flipper. But does that take away anything from a backlock knife or a knife that's not a flipper? No, not at all. But that's something that this brings to the table, and it also brings the one thing that we all know about it is the field strip technology. Now, I just showed you I'm a spaz when it comes to knives. You know, I cannot. You know, I've fooled around with the old knives years ago, taking it apart, and that's why I kind of abandoned that idea of taking a knife apart when it's, you know, because I screw it up all the time. It either, you know, doesn't close correctly, I'm doing something wrong, the tools that I'm taking it apart with are inferior, you know. But here with the Homefront, I don't have to worry about that. You know, if I take this out and this is in my pocket and I'm cutting whatever food stuff with it, or I'm outside, I'm cutting something, you know, maybe something that involves being close to dirt, or I drop it in the mud, you know, and then I try to clean it out, but I'm not really getting it as clean as I'd like, you know, no worries. Take this apart, rinse it off, clean it up, put it back together. You saw how easy I did on video. I don't even need to use my backup video, which I might put that at the end of this video anyway, in case you want to just see the knife being taken apart and put back together. But now the flipping, I'll say, at first it was a little bit stiff, and recently, and there you go. You see what I'm saying? It's not. I'm not going to tell you it's the greatest flipper in the world. I recently reviewed the CRKT. Geez, I can't think of the name right now. The Jettison, and believe it or not, that knife at a third the price flips open a little bit smoother than this knife does. But that doesn't mean that this is a bad flipper. It still flips. It's still, you know, you might, you know, instead of just doing one push like that with your finger, which it won't open all the way, it just needs a little, you know, a little swing of the wrist. That's it. So, some other things. We already discussed price. Now, does that bother me about the price? No. To me, what this knife brings to the table, that extra $20 you're going to spend, whatever, $25. Again, I'm going by my price. I don't know where these other guys are talking about $120. It's well worth it. You know, I think this is a big win for CRKT. I might be a little bit biased. I haven't mentioned this in this video, but I said it a lot in my preview video. I'm a big fan of Ken Onion. I'm trying not to let that sway me. I tried to really just think of this as a knife, not think about that it's one of my favorite knife designers, if not my favorite knife designer. And I just went through the motions, and then at first I'll admit, when I wasn't getting it back together, you know, I was thinking to myself, man, you know, this is a nice knife, but this is not that easy to put back together. But it's not the knife's fault. It's not CRKT's fault. It's Joe's fault. I wasn't squeezing this hard enough. I wasn't doing it right. I was getting kind of frustrated. This lever would only go the halfway point. I couldn't get it down. I said, "What good is it now? I can't get the damn knife back together." And meanwhile, that's just as bad as being, you know, a knife that I'm taking apart with screws. If I put it back together wrong, you know, this knife might not appeal to people that are really steel snobs. They might say, you know what, I ain't gonna spend that kind of money for that, or I like taking my knives apart with a screwdriver or whatever. All right, whatever. There's knives for everybody, you know. But if you want a knife that's sharp, that's good looking, that feels good in the hand, here it is in the hand. That's a flipper. I didn't even show you the. Let me see. I didn't show you the centering too. The lockup is definitely 50%, and the centering, even though I've taken this apart a million times, is still dead on. Oh, come on, Mr. Camera. There you go. I think it's still. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it is dead on. So, as I was saying, if you're the type that likes, if you're a steel snob, and you like taking your knives apart, and you know, having a ton of screws everywhere, whatever. That's fine. Maybe this might not appeal to you. But you want a good knife, a sharp knife, a knife that is good looking, a knife that is easy to take apart. At first, you might not get as apart as I did. You know, you might be like me. You might have a few issues at first, but that's fine. You know, I'm showing you that now it's very easy to take apart. this is definitely for you. This is a very big win for CRKT. This is another big addition to the Ken Onion line of knives. I'm hopefully that CRKT, I know that they're going to do well with this. I know, and I hopefully that they make other versions of like a home front 2, home front 3, that maybe different blade shapes, different colors, and keep this technology. You know, maybe even upgrade the steel for those that are steel snobs and are saying, you know, I'm not going to pay that kind of money for OS 8, but meanwhile I would pay it for S35 VN or whatever, you know. But definitely check this out before you turn away at this knife only because of the steel. You got to check it out. Even if you like to take your knives apart with, and take out all the screws. This knife is really cool. I gotta admit, I find myself sometimes I'm sitting watching TV and I'll have a pillow in front of me, and like during a commercial, boom, I'll take it apart, put it back together, boom, 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 and there it is again. It's just so cool. And like I said, if you're a guy that does a lot of outdoor activity, you're definitely going to welcome this knife to your collection. So, yeah, I think I babbled enough. There it is, Ken Onion home front. So definitely take a look at this one. So let's zoom in for the final shot. So there you have it, the CRKT Ken Onion home front, model K270GKP. Beautiful knife. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Take care, and I hope you enjoyed the video. God bless. Thanks for watching my video, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe.